Careers don't always go the way we want them to. Sometimes you have to restart your career because you had kids or you moved to another country. Maybe you've done everything right and that promotion you were looking for doesn't pan out. Or you get laid off right on your way up the ladder. A lot of people let these kind of situations get them down. But the truth is that it's common to face setbacks in your career. You just don't always hear about it. And it's easy to compare your insides with other people's outsides. I can't wait for you to meet our resilient client, Sally, who has faced these kinds of challenges and come out on top. Whether you're facing a setback right now or want to be prepared for the time when the inevitable happens, I know you'll find inspiration in her story. I'm Jill Avey, a career success coach, and this is SisterSmart Leadership, the show that explores how women can rise from director to vice president and beyond by fully leaning into their feminine energy as their biggest advantage. Let's get you one step closer to the recognition and promotion you deserve. I'm super excited to introduce you to Sally, one of our SisterSmart clients, who is the lead of customer service and operations for a large social media company. So Sally, welcome. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you, Jill. And I really appreciate this opportunity for me to chat with you and share my experience to help more women leadership.
That's so great. So one of the things that I've been so impressed with is your journey. You were in sustainability in China and you worked for very large brands like PVH and REI and Apple and had quite a great career there. And then you fell in love and came to the US and you stayed in sustainability for a while here. And then you got into tech. And that's when we met and when you joined the Sisters in Leadership program. So I would love to hear a little bit more about what was your situation when you joined the program and what were the obstacles that you were facing?
Yeah, so as Jill said, I came to US in 2017. And at that time, and I really want to shift my career to other area because I was in China doing sustainability for more than 10 years.
Tell me about what it was like for you to get used to this new culture and doing business in the US after moving here from China.
Yeah, when I moved here, I kind of like start from zero for my career because I was doing sustainability in China. I want to shift my career. And I didn't study in US, so I didn't have any degree or diploma. In US, I don't have any connection. So for me, the hardest part is to build your career from zero. So that's very hard. And I was also struggle for a few months. So, for me, the things I did was to really think about to find the connection from my previous company in China to see any opportunity for me to explore something in US and what I want to do in US and which part I want to do. The first thing I told myself, okay, and maybe it's good opportunity for me to shift to other industry or field. So I found my passion on customer support or customer success. And then found my previous connections when I was in China. I just realized when I was in REI, I joined some industry association and it made me know somebody in US. So I start to reach out to them to see if any opportunity for me to join. I think for immigrant women to start in US, it's where do you start, how to start. So I suggest don't care about what kind of opportunity, start from something. And from there, you can start to think strategically, what do you want to do in the future? Use that opportunity as the entry level for you to start any career in US. So after I found my connections, I was lucky their company tried to hire a customer success manager. So I got the interview and then I got this job. Start from very small nonprofit organization. And then later that organization and have opportunity to create another tech startup company. So I shift from that company to a tech startup company. And also, I think for a lot of immigrant women, they will think like, my English is not good, I have accents, how I'm going to do. So I think for you, and it should be confidence. And English just a communication tool. And how do you do this job well? It's the things you need to think about. So, and I'm the only Chinese in that company. My colleagues, they're all Americans. So it's actually good for me to learn the pure American company culture. And because when I was in China, even I work for REI, even I work for Apple, PBH, my colleagues, they're Chinese. And my leader, they're Americans. And only when I communicate or work with my leader, I use English. But for a normal work or communication, my language was Chinese. So for this situation after I moved to US, I have to force myself treat English as my first language. No matter it's good or not, even you have accent, that's fine. Because that's just the communication tool. And your goal is to do your job well. And so that's why after like half a year, I feel much better in my company. And because you don't want to be alone in the company. You want to join this family and to be part of this organization. So you have to put yourself in that position, not separate yourself from that situation. So after I came to US, I want to shift my career to do something I really interest. And I found out I have passion on customer success and support. So I got a really good opportunity to start a tech company. And at the beginning, and I joined the company very well. The company also gave me opportunity to become a leader and promoted as director and leading different teams, and really increased my leadership experience and also gain a lot of tech knowledge. And after a few years, I really want to be and live up my career level to become a senior director. And because my goal is become an executive leader like VP. So I try to think how to be promoted. So what I did is I just mentioned that during the performance review with my manager, and unfortunately she rejected it. She said I was not ready. So because at that time I was in director level already, more than it's about 3 years. So it's kind of like I want to move forward. And she rejected me. I was really confused and lost because I thought I'm qualified, I'm ready, and because I've done a lot of things. But from her side, I'm not ready. So at that time, I get lost. I was thinking, what should I do? And also, she also didn't give me a very clear guidance after I asked. So I'm thinking, maybe I need help. So that's why I found Gio with her great SisterSmart program on LinkedIn, because Gio is helping a lot of women become a leader, executive leader. And she has a great program. That's how I think, that's I really want. I really need somebody to tell me what to do, give me some guide, because and at this level, if you want to go up, it's kind of like a little bit difficult. And I don't have that resource. I don't have that experience. So that's why, and it blocked me to move forward. And also thinking about, as I didn't have any experience in US, because most of my experience in China. So I really need somebody who in the US career experience to give me suggestions and advice. So that's why I found Gio and joined the program, because my goal is to, through this program, to really gain my leadership experience, find my gap, and to get advice how I can achieve my goal to be promoted as a senior director, and what's a path for me from director to VP. So that's why I think the biggest challenge I had is I didn't know what to do. and I didn't have resource. I need somebody to help me.
I remember that. And you really overcame that. You were in line to be promoted. Tell me a little bit more about how that process went for you.
Yeah, so I think this program gave me a lot of great advice and make me understand and what's the gap for me to be a VP in the future, and what's the gap for me to be promoted. So that's why I work with Jill for almost 1 year to improve my leadership skills. And especially when one of the things blocked me to become the senior director, it's strategic planning. Mm-hmm. And to be honest, at the beginning, I think I did strategic planning before. And I asked Jill, I think ahead. And I always think ahead before other people to think to create the project. And Jill pointed out, like, strategic planning is different than think ahead. You should know the difference. And also through this program, and I also understand, besides that, become a leader, you should also have other skills. For example, executive presence as a leader, and also communication, skill of collaboration and motivation. And very important things is you need to find mentor to explore and build and explore your network and to make more influence and connections. And also promotion is not like a one-day things, and you have to have a plan. And also managing up with your manager is also very important. That's a thing I didn't realize. And my mistake is, I think I'm ready. I tell my manager, hey, I want to be promoted. But the correct way is, and discuss with your manager, hey, and if I want to be promoted, and what should I do? And what's the plan? What's the timeline? From there, create a clear plan, and every month, every week, discuss with your manager and to follow up and to make sure your guys align on that plan. So that's the things I also did wrong. So through this program, I understand that. So through that, I start to create a plan, and I start to talk with my manager about this plan, and also ask her to give me a clear deadline. And unfortunately, my company has a lot of changes. My manager, because of like a healthy condition, so she quit from her role, and I have another new manager. So the challenge is to build a relationship with a new manager and communicate the goal for me to be promoted and align on that. So unfortunately, even I do a lot of things and I follow the plan, but the work for me is to rebuild the relationship, to realign with this new manager. And also she have a different standard on how and when you should be promoted, how that looks like. So I have to work with her again. So unfortunately, as originally with my previous manager, I was promised to be promoted in March of 2023. Because of this change, they paused, and because they want to build a more strong case for me. So they postponed to August. Unfortunately, I didn't wait until August. I got laid off. But one thing I realized, I was too focused on working on my project, managing up, but I didn't build a very strong relationship for my network to find my mentor and the sponsors in my company. So for example, if you want to build a strong case, you have to let other people, especially the executive leadership team, know what you're doing and why you should be promoted, and let them know and your team's goal, and you should align with their goals and to show off in front of them. So that's the things I think I lack of. And after I review like why I didn't get promoted in March last year. So that make me more think about, and that's why I mentioned one of the course in a Geo Build It, it's about explore your network, found your mentor and the sponsorship, especially with the executive leadership team, very important. Especially for women, you want to become from director to VP, this kind of executive leader level. That's the thing you need to do.
I was really impressed with the strategy that you set out for your networking and how many senior leaders you got to know. It was really neat to see all that shift for you and change.
Yeah. So after that, I start to think about the strategy and how I'm going to collaborate with other team leader and how I'm going to build a relationship with our executive leadership. So I create my team goal and I share with each leader of department, like a VP of that department, and to really seek out, and this is our team goal, and this is opportunity for us. This is a gap between our team's collaboration. This is opportunity. And what's your team's goal? And how can we do better for next year? And what's our company goal? So think about these questions. And when I talk to this leader, I schedule like a monthly meeting with them to make sure we're aligned and track our goals. And also I set up like bi-monthly or quarterly meeting with our executive teams, for example, CSO, COO, CTO, and to really align with them to learn their priority and learn their goal and concern to make sure my goal align with their goal. And also they can give me some suggestions like what's missing. So that's really helpful for me to understand their priority and concern and to adjust my goal. So make sure my goal align with their goals and also to share and to learn their vision and the view about my team. So, and also about this company because they can provide more information than other people. So make you have more information you can share with the team. Think about your strategy and your vision. So that's a very interesting process for me to build a connection. And that's also give you opportunities to make influence and relationship with executive team. And so they know what you're doing in this company, what you're doing for your team, what you're doing for this department.
Yeah. Yeah. So you had everything aligned and then your company went through a big restructuring. Executives were let go and then you were let go during the whole tech layoff that happened in 2023. And so this is the way careers go. They're just not always a linear path. And most people have squiggly careers, we call it. And these squiggly paths are not always easy to navigate and not always fun. And you've been through a couple of disappointments. What would you recommend for other people who are maybe going through the same thing?
Yeah. So I think last year it's kind of like a interesting and a challenging year for me. And I try to stay positive. Stay positive, very important. And think about I didn't get promoted, and then I get laid off. The first thing I think, same as other people, why me?
Yeah.
And I think it's okay to ask these questions, but you have to think about the environment. It's not because of you. It's actually because of the economy, environment, and because of the company. So you didn't do anything wrong. And also, I was a little bit angry because I'm one of the founding member.
Yeah.
I've been in this company for a long time. I was here when the company created. So that's why, and it's very common for me to think, why me? And I was a little bit mad because you think what contribution you do to the company and the treatment you get, you think, oh, it's not fair. But and it's very common to think like that. And it's also common to be sad, even you have emotion to show like a crying or something. But I think for me, I just be mad and sad just for one day. And after the first day, I told myself, maybe this is opportunity for me to explore my new career or venture and opportunity. And I start to become excited and stop thinking about negative things. I start to think about what I want to do and what I want to try and what's my goal. So I give myself a week to really think about those questions, to really map out. And based on my previous 16 years experience and what I did well, what's not go well, what I really want to do for my next job, and which industry I really want. And also think about what do you want to improve for yourself for your next job. So after thinking this question, I actually did a mapping and then create a document. I put all this kind of like deeper analysis for your career and think about what's your interest, what's more important for you. So turns out I figured out myself first, I still want to be a people manager, a leader. And I want to go to a real tech company, like a bigger tech company. And turns out I want to shift my career from sustainability industry to pure tech because I want to learn more about tech. I want to really understand customer support and success in real tech company. And also I want to find a job can have opportunity for me to keep growing as a people leader, to have a more opportunity for collaboration, those kind of things. And also I want to find a company really care about the things you're doing. My previous company, still startup, so driving business revenue is their top priority. So that's why support role in that company, not super important. So I want to find a role in a company that really care about support or customers or customer success. So give you more opportunity. So after I figure out I have a target, I start to think about what's the next step. And the good things, I have Jill as my career coach and talk to her to get her advice. And she introduced me to some career coach on job searching. So, and of course, we need to figure out your resume and your job searching strategy, update your LinkedIn, and also think about your story because you need to prepare the interview on storytelling. So I follow that path. And after a few months, I find my current job and it's in pure tech. And also I'm still doing customer support and surveys. And I have a more opportunity because this company is bigger and the technology is mature and it gives me more opportunity for collaboration and operation. And also this company care about customer service a lot because that's their kind of like a business driven. And I achieved my goal for job searching. And also more importantly, and I found this company have a kind of like more opportunity, not only for your career, but also for other things like benefits. So look back, like I didn't lose a lot. And a layoff, it's not a happy thing, but I think using layoff to explore your career opportunity, use layoff to lift up your career level. I think that's the right thing for me to do at that time.
Yeah. And I'm hearing some of the positive intelligence work that we do where you were looking for the gift in this situation, even though it was really disappointing to get laid off right when you were about to get promoted. But you really have turned it into a huge gift and a huge opportunity for yourself. And I love it when people can turn what seems like a downswing in their career to really be a step up for them. And you've really done that. So I'm so impressed with that. You also mentioned the executive presence and the communication work. Is there anything else that you enjoyed or found particularly helpful from the program?
Yeah, a few things. The first one is to know about yourself. And at the beginning, actually, I remember before this program starts, and we have to do some assessment for ourselves to identify our personality and also our stress and weakness. And that's the thing to really make me learn more about myself, learn my stress, for example. And I was really surprised, actually, strategic planning is one of my stress. I think I need to dig into my potential, and also communication, collaboration, and implementation. And I'm kind of like action-driven person. If I confirm something, I will do it immediately. So I think that's the thing. And through understands your personality, your interests, your stress, and your weakness, you can think about the strategy, how you use that for your job, and how to maximize your potential and how to improve your weakness. So I think that's pretty important. I think it's very interesting and to learn myself at the beginning before everything starts. I think another thing is about the retreat. To every year you have a retreat for yourself, give yourself a time to review yourself. And
the
think
personal
about
strategy retreat, right?
Yes, strategy retreat, and think about what's important for you. Career, what's important, healthy or family. And I think for a woman leader, it's harder than men because a woman naturally take more responsibility. But you have to balance what's more important for you, to think about good strategy for you, and to think about a good goal for you. If you're a career-driven person, and you have to focus more on this, and how do you balance others? If you're a healthy and a family person, but you still want to be a leader, and then you have to think about how to balance this, because anyway, you have to sacrifice something to achieve your goal. So I think that's also very interesting and for me, very important to learn. Another thing I think is to learn how men thinking and what's the difference between men and a woman leader, their thinking. So I think this is also very interesting for me to learn, because sometimes I think women should think like a man. And because I think a lot of sometimes block women to move forward, it's because you don't think like the men, because men never think like that. I think you should think like a man, can help you move forward. So it's very interesting for me to learn through this program. And also other things, I think, like, for example, like leading a meeting, it's part of communication, like effective communication. That's also important for me. So there's a lot of very great courses in this program. And I also loved like group discussion and group like mentor, because through this program, I found my mentor who is also in customer success. And then now she's a VP. So we keep weekly chat as a peer mentor. And
she was your accountability partner, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. So I think this is really important. And also I think it really helpful because we have a similar background, similar industry. We share our challenges. We give each other advice and also give each other encouragement, and we drive motivation. So I think this is really helpful. That's one of the biggest things for me to get from this program, to know a lot of people, a lot of women leaders have the same struggle as me and have same goal with me. And we hold each other's hands to move forward together.
That's so nice. I want to circle back to something that you said that I think was really interesting about how sometimes we need to think like a man, and then other times we need to lean more into our feminine strengths. Can you say more about bringing both sides together for us, and how you've used your feminine strengths as well?
I think for feminine strengths, I think for women always think comprehensively. And also women can really dig into the detailed things. And I think women have a lot of like a great like implementation operation things. And I think that's really good. We should keep. But when I say think like men, it's because of a woman. I think sometimes we're too hesitant And for an opportunity, we have to think like, should I get it? I'm qualified. And is that good for me? Think too much. I think for men, they will never think like that. When the good opportunity give it to them, they just very confident said, I can do it.
Yeah.
With no doubt. Like, for example, for VP position, women will think, oh, this qualification needs maybe 20 years. I'm not qualified that because I don't have 20 years. But men, they won't think like that. They will say, I'm qualified no matter how. I think I'm qualified. I will apply for it.
They're like, oh, close enough. I'm going for it. And we'll often hold ourselves back and wait for the right time, wait for somebody to ask us.
Yeah. And also when like a big moment to show your voice, and men won't think like, is that question good or not? Should I just ask at that time? And women might think like that. But men just share what they want to share and to show like, I want to show my voice.
Yeah.
So I think that's the thing, I think, for as a woman, and we should also be confident to share your voice and in the public, especially in front of the executive leader, to be confident to share your feedback and also your suggestions. And even your opinion or your suggestion, it's against the leader, but you should share in a good way. So I think that's why I suggest women should think like men sometimes.
Yeah, we can use them as inspiration, right?
Yes. But I generally, I think women have a lot of advantage to be a leader because our personality, our emotion, and I think our natural is to be responsible. So women always very responsible for anything. We take care of the family, we take care of the kids, and the men also do that. It's just women naturally will think more about that. So, but I think for fighting for your opportunity, fighting for your benefits, fighting for other things, we should think like men.
I agree. I think bringing both the masculine and feminine energy together is really the way that we can make the most out of our own strengths and personalities, like you're talking about. So it's always good to have that combination. And I feel like the middle ground is usually where the most power is for us, rather than trying to be on one side or the other. And so when that comes together, it can be really magical.
Yeah.
So I always like to ask people this at the end of every conversation. Who is a woman that you look up to as a leader that you might share with us?
I actually have two. The first is Sheryl Sandberg, former Facebook COO.
Yeah.
And another one is also from Facebook. And her name is Julie Zhao, who is the extra VP of product development. So the reason why, because I really like their books. And then Shirley, her book, Lean In, really inspired me. When I was in China, I started to read her book. And from her book, she teach me how to think like the men, because she share a lot of story to inspire women to think like the men and fight for your opportunities, to really grab your opportunities. And for Julie, her book, How to Make a Manager, inspire you become a leader. Because in her book, and the very important chapters teach you manager and leader are very different things. And how to be a leader and not only just a manager. So these two books really inspire me from when I was just the IC. I want to be a people manager. And I read Julie's book. And when I become a leader, I think more. And Shelley's book really inspired me how to lift you up and how to think like a man. So I think these two women leaders give me a lot of examples and encouragement.
That's so great. And we can link to those books in the show notes for people because it's wonderful to have a resource like that you can read for yourself. So thank you so much, Sally, for being here with us today. I loved hearing your story. I don't always get to hear all these details as we're going through it ourselves. And I know that our listeners will love to hear your story about your squiggly career and how you've really come out on top. So if you have found Sally's story inspiring or helpful, please let us know in the comments which part you liked. Would you like to hear more about the SisterSmart leadership process and how it might work for you? Download my private podcast on the 7-Step Passport to Promotion on the SisterSmart.com website. The link is below in the show notes. And if you want to dive deeper into women's leadership and how to move up in your career, subscribe either on YouTube or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. I'm on a mission to help more women get into leadership and stay there. And if that's aligned with you, I'd love to have you be part of this community and tune in to more episodes on SisterSmart leadership that will support you in becoming the leader you want to be. If you're ready to fully lean into your feminine leadership and get promoted from director to vice president and beyond, hit that subscribe button so you'll get all the episodes to come. And check out the recommended video here to see how women are rising up without playing by the old rules that built these male-dominated industries and systems.